There's a place, a school, an institution where a professor resides. One that for the past 30 years has traveled the world teaching others. A pioneer in America of the fighting science of Savate. One who codified the sports of this fighting style. One who has produced clubs, champions, and continues to develop. Listen to words of Professor Buitron. Come train at the best-kept secret of Laredo. Buitron Academy, 956-401-4868. Savate.biz.
Hey, everybody. I want to wish everybody well. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. And I want to ask everybody, when you see your kids, hug them. Give them a big old hug. Some parents didn't see their kids this weekend for whatever reason. Either work, they're serving our country, or just not their time due to a court order. But nonetheless, hug them when next time you see them. Tell them you love them. And that comes to this video that we're doing today. You know, my son and I go over all the questions and stuff, and he saw one of the questions a couple of weeks ago. And he says, don't forget this one. You've been thinking about it, do it. And the question is, which bout of American Savateurs did you like the most? Man, I mean, I went back to 1992, and I started looking at all the Metro Blasts, or remembering them, looking at the pictures of the Nationals, of the Border Rumbles, of the Internationals, and I came up with 4. There's not one, but there's 4. 4 bouts that truly portray American Savateurs against American Savateurs. The styles of force, speed, all the agility of what Savate is, all the enthusiasm. And they came from different clubs throughout, you know, and some of them are with us now, and some of them have already passed on. But, you know, those good memories, good memories. But before we get into that, if you like this, share it. Press like, leave a comment, ask more questions. Listen, we have a lot of content there. And I want to thank you all for subscribing to what we do here at Viewpoints Academy and what we're all about. And we're about preserving history, and we're about teaching the traditions of dance through Savate, and of course the other martial arts that we teach here at the Academy. This little spectrum is questions and answers is for Savate only. And we're on our 75. This is 75 questions and answers. Imagine that. And we'll be doing well. I want to thank you all for that, because it's bringing me back to a lot of memories that we did, a lot of questions that have been asked, and has that energy of actually doing something, especially in the last 2 years that we've been hit with a pandemic. Well, anyway, getting back to your question and getting back to which ones were the fights out of the 4 that I'm going to say. You all can, you know, if you saw them, you'll remember them. If you were part of the school's end, you'll know who I'm talking about. Or you might train with some of these guys now, okay? Well, anyway, the very first one has to do in the first Metro Blast, and that will be Kendall Martin, Iniciador Mecánico, who has now the Left Hook Savate Club in North Dallas, versus Frank Castellano from Laredo, Texas. So we had a Dallas Saboteur against a Laredo Saboteur. The fight ended in a technical knockout on the 3rd round. The fight was very, very strong. Both were very courageous. Both were training bad. They're good. Both were excellent saboteurs with their kicks and using their punches and their kicks. And if you see the picture, Kendall is wearing the black and yellow, and red and white is Frankie. And it was the start of the bouts of the United States, really. And there were some demonstration bouts that were held a couple of years before that, but nothing official. This was underneath the Texas Association of Savate. And then that later on ended up, we had to form USA Savate in 1996. The Boxing Commission told us, you guys have to go and have, it took about 5 years to form. We did it. So that bout was very, very energetic. That bout was tremendous. I remember Frankie coming in very strong and then Mechanical countering and moving back and forth. It was just an excellent, excellent bout. Then we're going to go a couple of years later. And we're going to have John Marsala against versus David Martinez. John Marsala from Louisville, Texas, against David Martinez from Laredo, Texas. That bout was great. It was stopped in the third round. Speedy, to who is John Marsala, overpowered him in the third round. The first 2 rounds were very, very good. They were very good technique on both sides, both ends. And it was just that Espiritu was one of those great saboteurs. He had everything, he had hands, legs, and so on and so forth. And he went on and that he won the championship that day. He won the U.S. Nationals middleweight division. A great individual. David Martinez went on and continued work, and he stayed with us for a while later and move on with life. That's just the way things are. And they're still family. They're still part of the history of Savate. But Espiritu's out there, and I think he has a little crew that he's teaching boxing in Louisville, Texas. That's next to Denton. So if you guys want to look him up, look up John Marsala. That same night, there was a tremendous battle of Savate between 2 exceptional saboteurs. We had Joaquin Babyface Samano, now a doctor, now a dentist actually, versus Jerry El Loco Holmes. That bout was speed, power, precision on both sides. And the bout ended up in unanimous decision. And it went to Babyface Amano, and that's when he won the U.S. Championship. But Jerry Holmes was a tremendous athlete, was a tremendous saboteur, was a good fighter. Babyface had youth behind him, and that's when youth and maturity meet. And you have to understand one thing: being in the ring, it's a young man's sport. It does not mean that an adult cannot do it, or a mature man cannot do it. But there comes a time you stop. The energy of going to the gym and getting up there and everything, it just dies in you. Just something to just like pull the plug. And some folks stay there and continue teaching. Others become coaches. Others become officials. I mean, the love of the sport is still there, but to actually train for competition, it comes a day that just turn off that little switch. But those fights were great. I know that there's somewhere in the archives, we have some videotapes of some of these fights, and we've been looking for them. Remember, we have boxes upon boxes of archive, and we're going to make it a point to make sure we can find some of those who actually put them up. Anyway, going down the road. The next bout was a year later. Actually, it was a year before, or just months after that, which was the first Savate bouts in Laredo, Texas. That was the first border rumble. Okay. And we had a tremendous fight in the first border rumble. And that was Kenneth Click versus Samuel McGee. Pinaye. 2 fast lightweights that were kicking and punching like buzzsaws. You did not know which one was winning because all of a sudden one of them would overpower the other one back and forth. It went into the unanimous decision, and Kenneth Click won that bout. And that's just the way it is, you know. Later on in time, Pinayer comes back and becomes U.S. champion. And, you know, those are some excellent Savateurs, brings me back some great memories. And, you know, they say, when are we going to get competitors back? When are we going to see fights again? Right now, Savate competition, boxing says competition, fights in the ring are stagnant in the United States. There's no competitors. So we have to start building up the crew. So that's my goal this year, is to build up the youth within all the clubs and take it from there. But I want to thank you again. Press like, press share, leave a comment. You guys want to join and learn the art of dance through Savate, go to Buitron Academy at buymeacoffee.com, and you can see a lot more material that's in there. And you can also join the crew or join as a member, and you can learn some of the basics. I think there's 3 different categories in there. The inner circle is for folks that are actually looking for becoming an instructor. There's a lot of material there for that. But being part of the crew will take you from blue to green to red gloves. So all the materials there for that, and a lot of other videos there teaching and combinations and counters and what are the actual kicks and so on and so forth that you don't see out in the public domain of YouTube. Anyway, once more, this is the last week of the year. This is the last questions and answers for Mondays for 2021. We will see you back next week. It will be a new year, brand new year, and we'll take it from there. Till next time, much peace, stay safe, and remember, hug your children. Till next time.